Hey, how's it going, everyone out there in YouTube land? It's Comic Hoarder 410. I've been absent for a short time because, like I had told a few people earlier, I was having my computer worked on, so I was without that for about 3 weeks, and then I was having phone trouble. So this is going to be my first video with this new phone, so please bear with me if there's any visual, audio, or otherwise technical issues with this. But reason I'm here today is to finally do my response to Foolkiller5150's 200 subscriber contest. And first thing I want to say is, if you haven't checked out Foolkiller5150's channel, check it out. He's as cool as the other side of my pillow, nice down-to-earth guy, and I mean, he has this great collection and he does a good job of showing it without coming off like a know-it-all or a pompous ass, which, you know, I apologize if I come off that way sometimes. I really don't mean to, but I just get passionate about, you know, sharing my knowledge of what I've learned, and I love, that's what I love about this community. Seems like every time I watch a video, I'm learning something new from another YouTuber who loves comics or collecting or toys or statues, or, you know, always learning something new. Everybody's got something to bring to the table, and that's what I like about it. And Steve's real good at sharing his stuff and sharing his enthusiasm and passion without coming off like he's up on his high horse. And I like that. And I also like, you know, we're about the same age and we grew up on a lot of the same stuff, and that's why his collection, or one of the reasons, you know, his collection and his videos are so impressive to me. I mean, he has great comic collection. Working on a run of Marvel Team Up right now, which, man, as a kid I loved Marvel Team Up and Marvel 2-in-1. Getting to see Spidey and Thing team up with different heroes every month was just, you know, when you're on a kid's budget and can only get a comic here and a comic there, that was pretty cool. And he's got huge collection of 80s toys like G.I. Joe, He-Man, Transformers, all that. He also has a ridiculous sports memorabilia collection. I mean, ridiculous. Being from Baltimore, I'm not a Yankees fan, but I mean, he's got stuff signed by Mickey Mantle. He's got Whitey Ford signed jersey. I mean, check his stuff out. Subscribe. He's got some awesome videos and awesome stuff. So he's also nice enough to do this contest for everybody. So, you know, congratulations. Hope you get, you know, another 200 subs to your channel. But first question is, what got you into collecting comics? And that's why you're looking at the Tales from the Crypts again, because like I said, most of the people in my family collected something. But like Hippie said back then, you know, when my grandfather was collecting stuff, they didn't even call it being a collector. He called himself a pack rat. He just didn't throw away any of his records, coins. You know, he collected Lionel trains, blues records. He even collected beer cans, believe it or not, which was a big thing in the 70s. And some of them are worth money. You know, he took those cans from the 40s and 50s and opened them from the bottom with a can opener. Now some of them are worth money. They call it Brewery Anna. And so my grandfather was collecting Brewery Anna before we even knew what it was. So my mom collected Disney stuff. My brother, he was into comics when we were younger, which I think helped get me into it. But my uncle Roger, he had these when I was a kid, his EC books, and the Tales from the Crypts are the ones that made the big impression on me. And you know, when you're a kid and they're these old books that your uncle's sharing with you, it kind of puts them like in almost a mythic status. And you know, as I got older, I was like, man, you know, now that I got some money, I'm going to go try and track down some of these books Uncle Roger had and hope to complete this run at some point. But that was one part of what got me into collecting. But the other thing was being a child of the 80s. We had a lot of TV shows and stuff to put these characters in their heads at a young age. Like, I was a big fan of the Bixby Ferrigno Incredible Hulk, and actually Lou Ferrigno is supposed to be doing a signing here about 15 minutes from my place at the end of this month, so that'll be cool to meet him. I loved that show as a kid. This one's Super Friends. You know, that was a big cartoon. Alex Toth worked on that, and that put the superheroes out there in the 70s and 80s big time. So Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, that was a big one for me. And of course the 60s Adam West Batman TV show and movies. So between those things, that's what really got me into, you know, excuse me, into heroes and collecting at a young age. Where you see your collection in 10 years and what would you like to add to it? That was the second question. I don't like to sell a whole lot of stuff, so I don't see me thinning it out or getting anything, you know, getting rid of anything major. Maybe some stuff I have doubles of or don't care about, but I'd like to finish my runs on Tales from the Crypt and Two-Fisted Tales, which I don't need that many issues on those. Marvel Conan the Barbarian, I'm very close to finishing that. I'd like to finish that up. Same thing with Jonah Hex. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'd like to try at least get a second print of #1, preferably a first print. I have, you know, most of the other issues. And Akira, I'd like to finish that one. Maybe hunt down some more Bronze Age price variants and keep reading the books I do like, which seem to be getting fewer and far between nowadays, but that's okay. And, I'd also like to finish off my G.I. Joe run, pretty close on that. Have most of the expensive books except the special. But yeah, I don't sell much, so, you know, hopefully get bigger and better. And I like to get more signatures and, you know, little thumbnail sketches I like getting on my books and on the white covers. So I'd like to pursue more signatures and stuff like that. So really just hope to have a bigger, better collection. Keep grabbing what I love. Third question is, what's your prized possession? And this is a tough one because, you know, there's stuff you have that's has value monetarily, and I love that about collecting. It's a great aspect of it. And in that respect, you know, obviously love my EC books, and they have emotional attachment as well because of, you know, my uncle had them. But, you know, my Hulk 181's valuable. I like my high-grade turtles and stuff, but like I was saying, the stuff that I think is really valuable to me is the stuff that has emotional or intrinsic value, like those premium rings I showed you my dad gave to me. I'm never going to sell them. To me, they're irreplaceable, because even if I buy another one, it's not the one my dad saved from when he was a kid. Also, when I was young, my best collecting buddy was my friend Robert, and his mom died of this undetectable heart defect when we were like 7, 8 years old, and he was my convention buddy, and he was into drawing and painting and collecting comics. Excuse me. And his dad was really supportive. He would take us to all these conventions, and his dad stayed single from the time we were in like first or second grade till we were about juniors or seniors in high school. So he used to take us everywhere, and I have all these great memories of the conventions I went to with him, and, you know, just trading books, sitting in his room watching TV and trading comics when we were younger. And I know for a fact I have a prestige format called Superman the Earth Stealers by John Byrne, and it's not worth anything, but I know I got that at a show rather with my friend Robert. We both got a copy off the same guy, so they were like $3. And another book I have is that I can't find here. It's probably at my parents because it's from the 80s. Is the 80s relaunch of Flash, the #1 issue written by Mark Waid. I got in a trade off my friend Robert. I remember specifically that book's worth like $15, but to me, you know, it has immeasurable value because when Robert turned 27, I guess he inherited the heart defect genetically, and he died too out of nowhere. And you know, when I go to shows or, you know, like a new comic book related movie comes out, I always think of him and like, man, I wonder what he'd think about this. Or just, you know, just going to conventions, I think all the ones I went to with him, and I have a lot of good memories. And so those books are, while not worth a lot of money, they have a lot of intrinsic and emotional value to me. So, you know, anytime I go through my collection and see that book, it's like, damn, you know, I start thinking of that. So, you know, things like that, things like the rings my dad gave me, the stuff, my Lionel trains that my grandfather left me, You know, my grandfather's piano is at my parents' house, and that's a prized possession of all of our family members. So, to me, that's the stuff that's really the prized possession. The stuff that has emotional value and a nice story behind it that means something to you inherently. And it really can't truly be replaced in the same way with a similar object. So, the final question, rather, is what's something we don't know about you? Let me see. Besides collecting comics and toys and stuff, I'm a big movie buff. I have a big movie collection. I also collect movie posters, not fanatically, but I have some movie posters. Love dogs. I have a dog. I do not like animal cruelty or child abuse. That I have a real problem with that stuff going on. It hits a special nerve for me for some reason. I guess because they're usually innocent and don't deserve it. Sports, you know, being from Baltimore, I'm a big Baltimore Ravens fan. I like to follow boxing and mixed martial arts. Been watching boxing since the 80s. My father got me into it. Yeah, I don't train or anything, never really did with boxing. I wrestled, you know, when I was younger and stuff, but I never trained boxing or martial arts real heavy. So, but I do follow the sports and enjoy watching the fights on TV. You know, I guess I also like music. I played music for a little bit in college, trumpet and horn and a little bit of percussion. So I haven't played in a while, but I used to be big into music, and you know, enough to get a partial scholarship at least. So there you go. There's a couple things you don't know about me. Nothing too useful, but that about wraps it up. But once again, I want to tell you all to check out Foolkiller5150's channel and subscribe to him. And thank you all for taking the time to check out my video, and I apologize for making you stare at the same books for 12 minutes while I did this. Because I couldn't find any of my quote-unquote prized possessions. I think they're in storage somewhere. But again, thank you for taking the time to watch. Good luck to everyone in this contest. Thank you, Foolkiller, for doing this contest. And everyone, take care of yourselves, and happy comic book reading.